All right. Hello, everyone. This is Jackson Kerr with Prophetic Keys, and I want to apologize first for the change of format. I've been filming things with my camera phone, the camera on my phone, and there's a problem with the storage space, the amount of storage allowed on there. So now this week is a little bit of a different format, so I apologize for that, but we should still get to some interesting stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is a prophetic word that the Lord gave me recently. The Lord is saying, quote, Trump has an ace in the hole, and another ace in the hole, and another ace in the hole, end quote. So what I believe this is that despite all of the negative media coverage, the negative news coverage that Trump has planned ahead, as he seems to always have, with all of these different things that the news tries to say, oh, scandal, but he's always come out on top. They don't really have anything on him, so I believe that he's going to do well here. So Trump has an ace in the hole, and now I'm going to talk here about something I've noticed on Facebook recently. I've got back on Facebook recently because I was off for a while, and I noticed some interesting behaviors from the site. I posted an article with a conservative viewpoint and received a message that Facebook tagged my post. So I say, okay, I go and look at it, and I see that they have discredited it, though I believe it is a trustworthy source. Facebook warned against misleading information and said that the post was, quote, missing context, end quote, and that it could, quote, mislead people, end quote. Understand that I posted a link to a video, not just a few words about what's going on. If I had just said, oh, so-and-so is doing a bad job, or oh, so-and-so is getting involved in something, that would have been one thing. But this was not just a few words about what's going on. This was a video with a recorded conversation between someone who is investigating voter fraud and poll workers. So I don't see how they can make this claim that this is taken out of context, because all the context is there within the video. So to understand what's going on better, let's take a look at Facebook's policies on handling information. On the website, I found this posted, and it says, quote, we recognize how important it is for Facebook to be a place where people feel empowered to communicate, and we take seriously our role in keeping abuse off our service. That's why we've developed a set of community standards that outline what is and is not allowed on Facebook. Goes on to say after a little bit, we take great care to craft policies that are inclusive of different views and beliefs, in particular, those of people and communities that might otherwise be overlooked or marginalized, end quote. Now notice here that there's an inherent loophole placed within the text and the claims. They say that as long as Facebook says, well, this person or group would be marginalized by what you say, then they can censor anything they want to. I'm going to repeat that because this is important. As long as Facebook claims that someone could be hurt or marginalized by a post or a video or something you put up, they can censor anything they want. And they're able to do that, but they're not giving us the big picture. The problem with Facebook censoring is that they advertise as a platform, not as a news source, not a source for commentary, a platform. A platform is where everyone gathers and they speak what's on their mind freely. But the way I believe that most people understand Facebook is that it's a place to, like I said, speak your thoughts freely. But today I put up a post with a link to a conservative website, and I get a notice that says, quote, this link may be misleading, end quote. Now, the written guidelines for Facebook go on to talk about their community standards. Quote, the goal of our community standards has always been to create a place for expression and give people a voice. This has not and will not change, end quote. Now, this is interesting because we can take it in two ways. The first possibility is that Facebook is censoring people outright, and that this is something which they've done in the past. Notice that it says their goal has always been to create a place for expression, give people a voice, and that this has not and will not change. Well, they could just go against this and do what they want. It's their website. Why should anyone care, The second possibility is that they're not telling the truth here about giving people a voice. They're putting up a facade so that people who find incongruities will dismiss posts like the ones which received a disparaging notice. They'll dismiss posts where people say, oh, Facebook is censoring me, oh, Facebook is not letting me put out what I want to put out. And so they put up this notice so that people will ignore those. Facebook says that their policies will not change, but I would argue that it has changed because now Facebook has gone from letting people post what they like to deciding what people should see. They've gone from being a platform of free speech to a marketing entity for, I believe, the Democratic Party and socialism, both of which I think are about to suffer major losses in this next election. So the article goes on to say, quote, building community and bringing the world closer together depends on people's ability to share diverse views, experiences, ideas, and information, end quote. Now, one thing I've heard a lot in the realm of politics and things is how the Democratic Party and liberal ideas in general tend to talk about diversity. They want diversity of people, diversity of experiences, but what they cannot stand, I've seen this myself, is diversity of thought, different ideas than their own. What they don't say is if they don't like your ideas, this is Facebook, they'll do what they can to discredit or keep those ideas from spreading. You know that if you go to a friend's page, you'll see different posts on their page than show up on your news feed. Your news feed is supposed to reflect what your friends posts, but you're not going to see everything they post. I've noticed this for months now. On my news feed, I see that my friend, let's call him Brian, has posted some funny pictures and videos about cats. However, if I go to his page, I might see all kinds of posts not just about cats, but about current events, about music, about politics, all of which don't show up on my feed. Now, on websites, things don't happen by accident. We know this. Someone has to design the website. Someone has to put it together. So the idea of things coming up randomly is not really feasible because you have a program to tell the site what to show on your newsfeed. So it takes a little bit from here, a little bit over there, one from this friend, one from that friend, and to our understanding, it looks, random, like a good sampling. Usually, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So you need to ask yourself whether seeing no posts in your feed about what's going on in this nation is an accident or if it's engineered. If you look at the article again, it goes on to say, quote, we want people to be able to talk openly about the issues that matter to them, even if some may disagree or find them objectionable. In some cases, we allow content for public awareness which would otherwise go against our community standards, if it is newsworthy and in the public interest. We do this only after weighing the public interest value against the risk of harm, and we look to international human rights and standards to make these judgments, end quote. So the question we have to ask of here is the risk of harm to whom? They talk about the risk of harm, but to who and how? Notice they do not say the risk of harm to our patrons. Let me look at that again here. We do this, we go through the community standards and things, we do this only after weighing the public interest value against the risk of harm. It does not say to whom, it says against the risk of harm, and we look to international human rights and so on, end quote. So notice here, they do not say risk of harm to our patrons. They do not say risk of harm to our advertisers. They don't say who the harm is to. I would argue that they mean to limit the stories which they don't like so they can keep people in the dark about their censorship and implicit bias which comes out in the stories you see on your newsfeed. You know that your newsfeed and the stories you see aren't random. You see the posts that your friends put up and the groups that you follow. What most people consider is that those at Facebook can show you anything they like. It's a site which encourages browsing through suggested posts. If there's a suggestion, then there must be a person or principle guiding those suggestions. So the format of Facebook isn't just, okay, you come up with a blank page and you search for what you want. As soon as you open up your account, there's a long list of posts by other people, by people you follow, by your friends, by friends of friends sometimes, by groups you follow. It's not something like, say, Google, where you just type something in and look for what you want without being shown anything first. So I encourage you to please do your own research about this, read the policies for yourself on Facebook, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more relevant content. Thank you so much. This is Prophetic Keys, Jackson Kerr signing out.